Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe, that is Adam McKola, and this is Uncensored. How are you doing, Adam? I haven't seen you in ages. How are you getting on?
I mean, the sun's shining,
Yeah.
birds are singing. And today I have decided it is a good day.
Good. Well, there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to be positive about as a Man United fan. Because, some people would see it as the world is caving in and everything's crumbling, but we like to be positive. So we're going to be talking about how can United beat Bayern Munich. We're going to be looking at the disaster that's been Man United's injury record. We'll have a little look at people turning on Ten Hag already this season. We'll get into all of that. But to start with, tomorrow, Manchester United play Bayern Munich. This is one of those big games. There isn't really, other than maybe Real Madrid, there isn't much bigger than this. Is this for you a great chance to prove ourselves, or is this something that you're dreading because it's just going to compound the misery?
I'm not dreading it. I'm excited for it because Champions League football is back, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I am obviously a bit skeptical about how we're going to perform, but it's a different competition. The boys have got a fresh start. Everyone's starting from zero.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why we can't approach it with a little bit of confidence. Obviously, we don't know whether Rafael Varane, Mason Mount are going to be available for the game. That would help, and that would give us a bit more confidence if they were. But there's no reason why we can't go there and get a result. I know we're not playing well, but nor are they at this moment in time. Now, they're probably playing better than us. And then being at home, they're going to be the overwhelming favourites. But there's no reason why we can't go and get a result there.
In your
Ten
head,
Hag is pretty good in this competition as well.
yeah. In your head,
In
what's
my
the
head,
way we're going to win this? Like, if we United are to win tomorrow night, we've won it. United have done it. 2-1, 1-0, whatever it may be. What has to have happened for that to happen for you? Is there a certain way that you think this is
Do you
possible?
know against Brighton? Yeah, I don't know. I try and take each game and see what's going on in that game. Like, the 3 defeats this season, like the Spurs one, we were just abysmal in the second half, really. First half, we could have put them to bed. Arsenal game, played all right. 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Could have got a smash and grab win on another day.
Yep.
But we did crumble, and losing 2 out of 4 games wasn't ideal. And then that Brighton game was just the worst of the bunch. It was just horrible. But again, there were moments in it where potentially it could have turned in our favour. But I think the game was lost in midfield. I know everyone's kind of going mental and just criticising everyone. I've seen Bruno Fernandes getting it, which I find mental. I've seen Marcus Rashford getting it.
Getting loads of stick Rashford, isn't he?
And people saying all sorts of players are better than him and that. It happens every single season. It's ridiculous. And that's not to say that those 2 players haven't made their mistakes or, haven't underperformed, but it is some of the stuff is ridiculous. I just feel the midfield didn't protect the back line. And because if you looked at it, all right, Lisandro Martinez looks bad on that Pascal Gross goal, yeah. But outside of that, I don't think he played badly. Lindelof didn't really play badly. Then you had, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here. Then you have Reguilon and Delot, who I thought Delot's played really well in the last couple of games. Arsenal, Forest. I didn't think he was too bad against Brighton. He did really well with Matoma. And Reguilon, I thought them 2 played well. Now, there were probably moments where, defensive lapses, but I don't think they played particularly badly. But then you look at the midfield, Casemiro was shocking. McTominay was anonymous. Christian Eriksen was off the pace. Like Bruno Fernandes was running around trying to put fires out all over the place. And that's where we lost the game because it was so easy for them to play. So we have to obviously perform there. And make a difference there. I just don't know what's going on with Cass. We can't play McTominay and Eriksen. We just can't. No, I don't know whether we've got any other choice, but we just can't.
It doesn't help that we've brought in 2 new players, and we'll get to the injuries in a little bit more extensively. But I know Mount didn't play particularly well in those 2 games that he did play, but there's clearly an idea for him to be playing these games. We've not been able to do that. Then Fred was above McTominay in the pecking order last season, and he's gone, and we've still got McTominay starting games, and it's just nothing feels right at the minute, does it? He's not had a chance for any of his new signings to settle in except Onana.
Amrabat, Maino, Mount. in the midfield areas.
Yeah.
That's Eriksen and McTominay relegated to the bench at best. Like, McTominay probably don't make the bench.
Yeah.
Then, you know what I mean? Like, if those players are available. So, but you know what? The manager should have seen during that game against Brighton that, we're getting overrun. Like, McTominay's not doing nothing. Eriksen's been ineffective. Like, something needed to change there. And then makes the change of Casemiro, which kind of understand because he was in South America. But like, and he was poor as well, Casemiro.
Yeah.
What is it with it? Are his legs gone?
No.
Or is he just a slow starter?
I don't think his legs have gone. I think that he's having a poor run of form, but I don't see it as a situation where it's like that. He played more games last season by I think 8 games than he's ever played in a season before. And that's as he's turning 31. I think he's probably just a bit knackered still. And now that, like you said, I know we said there about making changes and stuff, but who could he bring on? Who was left? Amrabat, Mount, Mainu, not available. We didn't. So
what do you do against Bayern?
Fresh ball fall is upon us, and today's sponsor Manscaped is here to talk to you about being the greatest in grooming potential, right? Over 9 million men trust Manscaped, Adam. That is just so many men. That's more men than what? I don't know.
Many men.
That's more men than 50 Cent was singing about.
On their balls. What?
Exactly. And with the code Paddock20, you can get 20% off and free shipping. The link is in the description. You don't have to remember it. Just use the code Paddock20 for 20% off and free shipping. So what do Manscaped bring you? Great question. Thanks for asking, Adam. They bring you the Performance Package 4.0. Now, it all starts with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer with advanced skin-safe technology. Adam, tell me a little bit about this Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer.
Listen, you should be getting the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer because then you'll be treating your scrotum with decorum this autumn. You know what I'm saying? And that is what Joe, that is going all over Manscaped, on their billboards, on everything,
Amazing.
Mate. Because that's what they want you to do. Get the Lawnmower 4.0. Make sure you keep it trimmed. I like as well, they got some ball deodorant, which is good as well. Keep that little splashy splash. So you don't have to use the Brute down there. Last time I used the Brute down there, oh my lord.
Get
the ball deodorant on the go.
I put aftershave on my nuts before once after I'd trimmed them, and it was absolute Kevin McAllister moment. It hurt so bad, except it was my nuts that I was clenching, not my cheeks. It's also, you've got the Crop Preserver ball deodorant and the Crop Reviver ball toner spray. So maybe after work, you're going straight out on a date. Maybe you've been out for the barbecue and you're going round to your friend's house afterwards and you want to keep the boys smelling fresh. Use the Crop Reviver. And it's not just the Lawnmower 4.0. It's not just the deodorant and the toner. We've also got the boxers and the Shed travel bag to package it all in. It's perfect. They've got everything. And there's also the ear and nose hair trimmer as well. I mean, the thing is, Manscaped have just got this side of things covered. If you think, male grooming, they've got it all. Go over to manscaped.com, use the code Paddock20, get 20% off and free shipping, which is a great deal, and join 9 million men who trust Manscaped. Thank you again to sponsoring the show.
Many men.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. We found ourselves in these unfixable situations where you look against Arsenal. Martinez and Lindelof both feeling knocks, both got problems that they had to come off. Then you've got Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire playing against Arsenal away from home. That is a situation he never wants to be in as a manager, Ten Hag. Then you've got the same thing against Brighton. You've got your only basically 4 fit midfielders are Eriksen, Bruno, Casemiro and McTominay, and they're all on the pitch and it's not working. There's nowhere to go. That's why Bruno ends up at centre back, and we fit like we keep against Bayern. To answer your question, I don't know what we do. I think we've just got to hope that we get the luck of the green a little bit more, because I know that luck isn't a way you win trophies, and you got to do more than just luck. You got to overcome bad luck. But like you said against Arsenal in the 90th minute, I watched us score the winning goal in that game. Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we've lost 3-1. And fair enough, he was offside, I get it, but we just didn't get the look quite the way you would want. Against Spurs, that penalty, his hand is next to his head, it hits his hand, and no penalty is given. Like, I'm not saying we need luck for the rest of the season, but just to get us out of this slump, Like, maybe just something to go our way against Bayern where maybe they miss a sitter, or maybe we get a penalty that could go either way, or one of these moments where it's like fractionally offside, onside goes our way, and we might be able to win that game, and that can be the catalyst for something else. But at the minute, with the amount of injuries we've got, we need to sort of hope that it works from the start, because there's nothing to really do off the bench, is there? Like you said, Amrabat, Mainu and Mount all injured. You could argue that 2 of those 3 would be starting from the beginning, and certainly Mount has been, eyed up to start with his price tag. Like, it's there's only a limited number of things Ten Hag can do.
Casemiro has to start, even though it's not ideal. Maybe Varane could be back, and you got a bit more solidity there.
Yeah,
but like, do you just go with? Because we can't play McTominay again. I'm not blaming him for the result of the week, but we just can't do that. Hannibal came on and showed more willingness to go for the ball, more willingness to win the ball back, more willingness to press, more willingness to do everything. Do you go with like putting Hannibal next to Casemiro and just letting him be his legs in the game? Like, just buzzing around him?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe that's... The youngsters is an issue, is a thing as well. Maybe we do turn to that. Maybe we do go a little bit of Pellistri. Maybe we bring Garnacho back in from the start. Maybe you look at a Hannibal or someone like that. But the problem is...
You can't go Eriksen, McTominay, Bruno, Casemiro.
No,
again.
but the issue we have is there might not be a formula. There might not be a sequence of players that can win us the game. Like, without good luck or without them having a bad time. Like,
no, there is.
Is there though? Is there always a formula that can do it? With the pieces we've got, can you always find a way to win every game? Do you think that? Go on then.
Yeah. Here's the formula.
Go on.
Casemiro, Hannibal, Bruno.
Equals.
Battering Bayern Munich in their own backyard.
Absolutely deep frying them. Absolutely battering them and deep frying them.
Mate, that there has the look of Carrick Hargreaves goals, doesn't it?
You know what? Yeah, it does. It does actually, yeah. But I think in this case, it was when Hargreaves was still at Bayern Munich. I couldn't even finish that sentence. Because it's counting against us a little bit, yeah. Hargreaves is still at Bayern Munich, Carrick's still at Tottenham, it's just Paul Scholes by himself. That's what it's got the look of. For God's sake.
Nah, but
Carrick, Hargreaves,
that midfield that I just selected.
Sorry, say it again. Say it again for me.
Casemiro, Hannibal Mabry, Bruno Fernandes. That's better than anything containing both Eriksen and McTominay.
If it was me, I would just go back to last season's Eriksen, Casemiro, Bruno.
No,
I would.
I don't think Eriksen can start these big games, bruv.
Maybe not.
Look at and I include Brighton in that because Brighton play very good football.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Look at the Arsenal game, man. Fell asleep oh God. Oh God, mate. You didn't have to fall asleep there.
Well, let's move on a little bit because this ties into something else I want to talk about. But people are turning against Ten Hag already. We saw it already last season of opposition pundits. But this thing now of if you ever criticise the manager, if you ever say he had a bad game, and I think personally he made some bad decisions against Brighton, and maybe you could even say he cost us the game. That doesn't necessarily mean I think he's a bad manager or he should go. People somehow have this thing of, unless you're blindly backing the manager, you're calling for him to be sacked, when actually there's a lot of area in between. I thought he didn't show the best of himself, Ten Hag, against Brighton. However, I don't know what he can do. That's what I keep coming back to.
You know what happened
against Brighton? It really
Brighton?
worries me. What have we got? What players have we got that can win us big games at the minute with the injuries we've got?
You know what happened against Brighton? He tried this diamond, It worked for 20 minutes. Yeah. At that point, Brighton took over the game. Dahoud and Gross dropped off 5 yards and just started picking up the ball and beating our press every single time. So much so that our press got depressed and we're just jogging about and that. That's because they were just passing through them, innit?
Yeah.
And he didn't. At that point in time, he probably should have changed it for the 4-3-3, or But then you've got to make that sub. You've got to bring on maybe Facundo Pellistri, someone. And you've got to take off McTominay or Eriksen in the first half. look, big man, like maybe you do that. I don't know, but it's a difficult decision to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you probably go. We get to half time.
Mm-hmm.
We get to half time. We're 1-0 down. He never changed it. Had to change it. The game was going one direction, like Zayn Malik.
Yeah.
It was going all one way, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. And maybe he never had this, like, all right, Casemiro has to come off around 65. Højlund has to come off around 60, 65. And you know what I don't get? People criticize him about Højlund, yeah. Isn't it good that we've got a manager that looks at the long term as well and goes, actually,
yeah,
all right, it might benefit me here to not get booed for this decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might help me a little bit by keeping an extra striker on. But he can't play 90 minutes. Like, if he gets injured, then what?
Yeah. That one, I understand people's frustration. I understand why people were annoyed at seeing a promising striker going off. But he's clearly not fully fit. He's not played 90 minutes. I don't think he's played 90 minutes all season. And he's returning from a back injury. He's clearly not able to play 90 minutes and then start again against Bayern 4 days later. I can see why he brought him off. But like you said, I'm glad that he's thinking about that, because the alternative is quite possibly he plays him. Oh, he's picked up a little knock and he'll miss it, 10 days or a week or whatever. And then we've got this thing of, he's overplaying him. Why is Martial even there if he's not going to bring? Like, you can't predict how everything's going to unfold. Some of the substitutions didn't make a lot of sense to me, but that doesn't mean he's all of a sudden a terrible manager. Yeah, that didn't make sense.
But he had no choice. And you know what? They were so slow. And once our press got beat, like, because Eriksen and McTominay weren't covering ground, they just had Casemiro to run at. And then he's just steaming in people. Like, if he misses one tackle, which was happening in that game, we're exposed. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I thought, when Reguilon and Hannibal looked like your best players, Jesus.
I know. Yeah.
I don't actually think Reguilon's a bad player.
No. Well, he's got a lot of talent, and he's always been a very highly regarded player up until about 18 months ago. Like, his whole career coming through.
I'd rather have him playing than Brandon Williams, say.
Yeah.
All due respect.
I thought he was very good. Reguilon. I thought he was one of our best players. But yeah, this Casemiro thing, it's like, at the minute, he's the bull, and the opposition have got 4 bullfighters, and he's meant to be taking them all out at once. And it's like, he can't be the only one doing this. So he charges in and tries to win the ball back. And as soon as they whip the little blanket away, they're through, and he's out the game. And then McTominay's defensive positioning is non-existent. Eriksen hasn't really got that either, but that's not his game. And then he doesn't have the legs to make up for it. And this thing that's really worrying me at the minute. You look at the goal we conceded against Arsenal, the Odegaard goal. You look at the 3 goals we conceded against Brighton. You look at the goal we conceded, the first goal against Tottenham. It is counter-attacks down the opposite side, or counter-attacks down a wing, a ball played back to the edge of the box or into the 18-yard box, and a side-footed goal. Especially the 3 against Brighton and the Odegaard one. It's the exact same goal. We have to find a way to stop that. No.
Like just loitering around a penalty spot.
Yeah.
We all run towards the 6-yard box. We all run to the goalkeeper. And the amount of crosses I see just pulled across the just 10 yards out where if someone's there to tap it in.
Yeah. Well, there was one where Dalot did it. He skinned Mitoma and laid it back to the penalty spot, and Rashford had a really good chance. Obviously, it got blocked instantly. But we saw a free shot in the box that was from that exact same thing. United... This is another thing that I think
we should have been living in an alternate reality at the moment,
Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund's arrival should have he assisted the winner against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Scored the equaliser against Brighton.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're already chiseling his face into one of the white cliffs of Altrincham.
I feel so. Imagine how he must. He had those. And that goal, that Garnacho goal.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the Rooney Park Ronaldo one,
Yeah, the little flick round the corner.
Yeah, the little Ronaldo flick to Park round the corner.
I know.
It's so frustrating. Cope, man. Can we just restart the season? Null and void.
Yeah.
Null and void.
Just pull the memory card straight out and just put it back in. Turn the PlayStation off.
Someone make COVID 21. Yeah. 23.
Yeah. Let us have a little behind closed doors piece where there's no pressure and everyone can just
Martial
calm
be class.
down. Martial's unbelievable again. Pogba comes back on a free transfer. He's tearing it up. Like, it's just so frustrating. And just on the criticism of Ten Hag, people saying he's not improved anyone at United. I see this thing of being sort of outplayed. That we're not. He's not making people better. He's not making the team better. He's dealing with these things off the pitch and getting things wrong. What do you make of him just as a manager and what you've seen from him and what do you expect to see from him? Because he is facing probably his biggest challenge as a United manager so far.
I think something's gone wrong with our preparation for this season. And I don't just mean the transfers. Obviously, you can look upstairs to the Amrabat situation possibly being resolved quicker. Yeah. Buying a left back was late. That was, that came because of injuries. That was couldn't do much about that. But you can look at maybe a few things being better in terms of signings at the start of the season. But I do think we seem really unfit. And that's a problem because we did have a pre-season. And we're coming into some of these games and we're looking like we're tired. We're looking like maybe it's because we played so much football last season. Maybe, a lot of our players are internationals and things like that. But we do really look unfit. And that makes me think something's gone wrong somewhere in the preparation. You also look how many injuries we're picking up. It's incredible. Like, I feel like somewhere in the preparation or the preseason or something needs to be fixed there, because that's obviously an issue and we don't look fit. Whether that's the manager's fault, whoever's fault, I don't know what's going on there. You've got so much uncertainty around the club at the moment, which is dreadful. Like, I don't think that helps a manager. Like, when you've got the owners that you don't know what's going on with, you've got a Jadon Sancho situation, Anthony situation, you've had the Greenwood situation going on. I don't think all those things help. Creates a cloud, it creates a shadow over the club. You've got the owners who, like, this is a manager that came from a club where the institution was run from top to bottom with footballing people making all the decisions. He never had to do as much in terms of putting out fires, maybe, with some of his big star names or, although that is a manager's job to manage a team, but you know what I mean? Sometimes you have people that will step in and mediate those things. Then you've got another situation with signings and stuff. It all seems to be coming through him. There shouldn't be a reliability on him. People talk about how Brighton are amazing, how Arsenal are doing well at the moment, how Manchester City have done well, all these different teams. Their recruitment, I think, goes far and above the manager. When Liverpool had their successes as well, a lot of that came down to the recruitment. And Manchester United's recruitment, a lot of it is being over-reliant on the manager again. So we leave him with all this stuff to do. He's made his mistakes this season. Maybe he could have had the team being a little bit fitter, but you look at the games and the way they've gone. All right, we could have been better against Wolves, but we win. We go to Spurs. Again, we've already spoken about it, but that game could have gone either way. You had the Forest game. We did well to fight back and win that. And then you had those two, that Arsenal game, which was a marginal one. Like, we have had a bit of a bad look. And then you got all these injuries. Yes, the manager could have made some better in-game substitutions, better tactical decision, better formation decision, I don't know, against Brighton or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think people are going a little bit too mental with, Ten Hag's falling apart and all this. And I'm disappointed with some of the briefs that we're seeing, if they are briefs, because you don't even know what's going. People could just be making shit up at the moment and you believe it because everything's just negative about Manchester United. Yeah. So I do feel sorry for the manager a little bit, but great managers have to kind of rise above it, steer the ship, lead their team. And that's what we need to see him do at this moment in time. But I'm wholeheartedly behind this manager. Like, seriously, like, I ain't even, we could lose against Bayern Munich and Burnley, and my opinion on that don't change. There's one thing right at this club at the moment, it's Erik Ten Hag. Like, he's one of the only people that are having the balls and some conviction in, like, look at what he's doing with, like, Jadon Sancho and that. All right, people will disagree with it, but he's having some balls and he's standing by what he believes and his decision making, and he's done that the whole time he's been there. Yeah. So I'm behind this manager. If he's the only thing good about Man United.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And like you said, there's so many situations that are out of his hands that he's having to deal with. And then this whole thing about, there's too much influence from the manager in transfers, and even that we saw last night, and I don't know if it's even true, but there's this rumour that the scouting team and the transfers team or whatever that is don't like Amrabat. They don't think he'll succeed in England. He was a Ten Hag signing, and you think, well, first of all, how do you know? Why are you saying that before he's even played a game? Secondly, why is this coming out? And thirdly, who have you got that's better then? Who have you? What track record does United scouting department have to say we should trust them with the money? Because I've seen a decade of big names and big failures at Man United. That's all we've seen. And then you look at Ten Hag trying to bring in people he knows, which all managers do, by the way. Jose did it, Pep did it at City, Moyes did it, like Van Gaal did it, Klopp did it. Everyone does it, and it's then a problem. And you also the other thing as well, the final thing. You look at the people who have actually bought, and yes, some of them are Ten Hag signings, but almost all of them, except Onana and maybe Mason Mount, weren't United's first choice. We wanted De Jong all summer, we got Casemiro. We wanted Kim Min-jae, we got no centre-back. We wanted Kane and Højlund, we just got Højlund. We even Cucurella, the backup emergency left-back, we couldn't even get him. We ended up getting the third choice option there in Reguilon, and that's no knock on those players, and some of them have been very good. But it's not like he's getting first choice. He's getting second, third and fourth choice. He wants a new striker. Who do we get? Weghorst. We've got an emergency in midfield. We end up getting Sabitzer on loan. Like, it's not like we're going, right, Ten Hag, he's got everyone he wanted. Why aren't you winning the league? He's getting his second and third choices and doing a good job with them. I just think
it's the same situation again.
Ridiculous.
When Mourinho had that good season and we just failed to back him and just properly go for it. And then you had Ali as well, similar situation. I know we got Ronaldo and Varane and that, but still, that weren't the plan. And then you look at like this, like you got the added mix-up of them twats don't even know if they want to be here or not.
Yeah.
Like there's shit when they know they want to be here, but at least we know where we stand. Right now, we don't know what's going on.
I know. The only thing worse than having the Glazers own Man United is having them own us and be half one leg in, one leg out, this constant media like this is worse than just them owning us, because at least then you know where you stand. Now they still own Man United, there's no change there except there's this like tug of war of optimism and then disdain, and optimism and disdain, and it's questions for Ten Hag to answer, it's questions for the players to think about, it's all of these things that just on and off the pitch nothing is sort of cool and calm at the minute with United. And you can understand why that is affecting things on the pitch. Just on those injuries that you mentioned before. Back this manager, man. Yeah, back the manager, definitely.
And again, him, bro.
I've seen this too many times where the criticism of the managers that have all come before Ten Hag, Solskjaer hasn't got that cutting edge. He hasn't got the tactical ability to win trophies. We know Ten Hag has. We've seen it in the past at Ajax, and we've seen him win trophies at Man United. The criticisms of Jose and Van Gaal largely were, they're a little bit of a dinosaur, they're past their peak, they're bringing in tactics that aren't necessarily the modern style, and they don't have that sort of, virility of a young manager to sort of carry United for the next few years. Ten Hag has got all of these things. He's got a proven record that Moyes didn't have, he's got modern tactics that Jose and Van Gaal didn't have, and he's got a track record of winning things that Ole didn't have. I don't know what more we can ask for in a manager. We sack him, who do you get next? Nagelsmann, or someone like that. He's gone to Germany now, so it wouldn't be, but who is out there other than Pep and Guardiola? Who is out there that is a sort of bankable improvement on Ten Hag? And they might not even not be at United with everything that's going on.
And it's just going ridiculous. People going, oh, let's get this Herbie and that. Like, bruv, he'd look like Graham Potter at Chelsea. We do know this, innit?
Yeah.
You know how, like, when you take that manager out of that environment where the recruitment's all good and everything's like Tony Bloom and that doing an incredible job over there at Brighton. Like, we don't have the same forward-thinking owners. Like, it's not a collaborative effort.
No,
it's the manager fighting against all sorts of shit.
Yeah,
trying to squeeze a diamond out of a piece of coal, I guess.
Also, another thing that you get when you come to Man United, I know obviously no one's saying Brighton and Man United are the same size, but I saw the other day the commentary for the United game where they were talking about Brighton, and he said, they've won this game, they beat this team, they beat this team, they beat United. The only one where they've slipped up where they got, battered by West Ham scoreline-wise. I know that the game was a bit close, and said, but even in that game, it was pretty close. So you could call it 5 out of 5. No, you could. Like, they're giving Brighton wins for games they've lost. You could call it 5 out of 5. And then he said, this Brighton side are challenging for the title.
I'm onto it. We know what to do.
What?
We just have, what was said, Spurs should have had a handball. Rashford, Bruno should have scored.
Yeah.
Garnacho scored against Arsenal, 2-1. Højlund scores against Brighton.
Højlund did score.
We basically won every game.
Yeah, we did. If Brighton beat West Ham, then we beat Arsenal. We got a penalty against Tottenham. We scored a goal to equalise against Brighton. Forest didn't even score against United because it was our corner, so how could they score from it? Like, what is that logic? Brighton have basically won all 5 games. Unbelievable. Yeah, 6 out of 6. We're winning games we haven't even played yet. That's how good United are. We've only played 5 games, but we've won 6. Like, just ridiculous. And just on the injuries, this has been doing the rounds, but I wanted your take on it. This sort of injured 11 or unavailable 11. And rank this team in comparison to the one that we saw start against Brighton. So we've got Tom Heaton in net, obviously one of your favourite goalkeepers in world football.
He won.
Then you've got a back 4 of Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Varane and Malacia, which you could argue has got 3 of our 4 starting back 4 in it. Then a midfield 3 of Amrabat, Mainu and Mount, which when I say that's got balance, like you've got the sort of the legs and silkiness of Mainu, you've got the pressing and creativity of Mount, and you've got the industriousness and ball playing ability of Amrabat. Then a front 3 of Ahmad, Anthony and Sancho as well. Again, maybe not many goals in that, but there's a lot of creativity, there's speed, there's flair. That is a lot of good players that United don't have to pick from at the minute, isn't it?
The one thing I'm scared of, though, is our players always look better when they're injured.
Yeah, that's
if you get what I mean.
Yeah,
we always go, oh, fucking hell. Oh, if he was here. If he was here now.
I tell you what, if Tom Heaton was playing, we'd have won all those games. He's a class act.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, I do.
We can't deny, especially those 3 midfield absentees.
Say that. Yeah,
are making a huge impact. And Luke Shaw, although he was shit at the start of the season.
He was.
Varane, definitely. Look, teams have injuries in it.
Mm-hmm.
Teams have injuries, but those 3, especially to your new players as well, like you want them to settle in, you want them to get stuck in and that, and suddenly things feel a bit fresher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Amrabat's steaming about and clogging people and we're all getting up for it in Old Trafford. It's less like, when you see McTominay and Erik, it's like, oh, you fucking lot again.
Yeah.
Whereas if Amrabat was steaming about with Kobe Mainoo next to him, he'd be like, oh.
Yeah. It's just a different feeling, isn't it? And some of it is just keeping the team fresh. Like, it's not always about improving and, one player being better than the other. Sometimes you can bring a player in who, it could even just be the exact same player, but with a different kit, a different face, a different body. It keeps the fans excited. It keeps their teammates excited. Like, not every...
Well, Amrabat could just be infectious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Casemiro and Martinez and that could buzz off him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not every signing that Fergie made the team better from the last team. Sometimes it just kept us ticking over. But that can keep you ahead. That can improve you.
It's like,
because it's not just about who's doing what.
Isn't on camera today.
No.
But us just knowing he's here in spirit and in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We feel happy.
We do. It fills us with joy. He fills us with his liquid joy. He does. Right, that's enough doom and gloom. What have you been up to? I saw you going out and winning big cash in that. What's all this about?
I didn't win any cash. You know where I live? Bloody hell.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I mean,
you did put it on your social media. You won some chips or something. You won a bag of chips? What was it?
I won 30,000 chips.
That's unbelievable, that, innit?
30,000 bags of chips.
What was it?
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
Is that like one of your peaks, one of your highlights of your career, that moment?
That is the peak of my poker career. So I've been playing poker for a few years. Started off as a newbie, everyone knows, whatever. We've been going to a lot of tournaments and I've been getting cashes, but usually when I cash, it's like 100th, min cash. The entry's probably $1,000, you win $1.5 grand, but you're like, ooh, you know what? I feel good about myself. I cashed. But this one was the first time. Actually, I've had a third place finish before, but it was in a much smaller tournament.
Yeah.
This one was a UK IPT, which is like a UK and Ireland poker tour main event. Yes. So loads of serious players playing it, and I finished third. That's so 3 days of poker, that is.
So
and the two players that I was at the final table with that finished ahead of me. Spraggy won the trophy. Big up Spraggy, big Man United fan, pro poker player.
Good lad.
Been doing this thing forever. Love Spraggy. And then there was a fella called Dominic there. I can't pronounce his surname, so I'm not going to try because it'd be disrespectful.
So
Dominic there. And him, he's like won World Series of poker. He's won like 20 million in career earnings. Like them two are serious players, and I was there.
That is fantastic, isn't it? I mean, obviously, well done, congratulations, first of all. But secondly, the thing that really intrigues me about poker is not this winning money, not this sitting at a table for 3 days like, some old lady in a care home counting her custard creams. But the thing that I like is the costumes, right? What are you wearing to the table? Because I've seen your cowboy hat is pretty standard. Your sunglasses is pretty standard. Like, I think your next evolution to take you from third to first is maybe some cricket whites and a cricket helmet. Maybe you replace your entire body with just an iPad that is an AI-controlled female called Daphne. Something like that. Like, what is your poker face protocol?
When I started playing live poker, I thought to myself, shall I be the glasses guy? The sunglasses guy.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't do it. I had them with me, but I couldn't be that guy at the table with my sunglasses on. So, and also, those things that you just said, the cowboy hat, the thing, whatever, it's very rare. It's very, very rare. Yeah. So sometimes you'll see maybe there's a fella on a stag doing dressed up, but it's very rare.
And what are the rules? So, for instance, if I pitch something to you, you tell me whether this flies at a PokerStars tournament. Okay. First idea I had, full NASA spacesuit, so my face is entirely covered. Good luck reading that, you absolute losers.
What you can do is wear what you want. They don't mind. They don't judge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, so the second one I'd like, the first one is about me not being able to be read. The second one is about distracting my opposition. Am I allowed to wear a suit that is covered in motion-activated air horns? So if anyone moves around, just everywhere, popping off constantly. Is there a noise element to an outfit that could maybe distract my opposition? Is that allowed?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'd assume no. I'd assume no, but it's never been done and it's never seen it, so maybe it is.
Or even just maybe like a jester's outfit with all the bells ringing constantly. Okay, third and final. This is my third and final one, and obviously it's going to be hard for me to flip my cards. But if I'm sort of Houdini style, fully submerged upside down in a tank of water wearing a straitjacket, I feel like that could probably distract people into making awkward bets. Could I do that?
Your cards would be wet.
No, the cards remain on the table. I've got my sort of luxurious assistant who's turning my cards for me.
Do you know what some people do? I think you'd love this, actually.
Go on, here we go. Now we're talking.
A lot of poker players... so at these poker tournaments, there's masseuses walking around.
Okay.
And a lot of players will just at the table just have a massage.
That is
whip their shirts off. Full massage on the back, oil. 2
Wait, do you have to pay him to take the shirts off?
Or... Just sleeping on a table like this, just getting massage, bro. You see people do it. Yeah. And I sometimes get scared to tell the waiter to get me a drink in case I get knocked out before my drink comes, and then you have that awkward thing of having to hang around for your drink.
That's awkward.
But some people get massages, and I think, imagine saying, "Oh yeah, I'll get an hour massage, please."
Yeah. And
then in 10 minutes you're out, and now you've got to go and sit in some corner of a casino somewhere getting a massage.
Walking off, and they're massaging you as you're walking away from the table. Like that. That is unbelievable. What you should do is the next step up. I mean, obviously, I don't advocate for cheating, but these masseurs, presumably you can pay them to go and massage one of your opponents. Maybe make them a little bit tired, a little sleepy.
By you can't.
Okay. Can't. Right. So you're playing it pretty straight then. You're playing it by the book. You wear your own clothes. You don't try to sort of influence anyone else.
I do wear my own garms.
Yeah.
Man, see me on road and want arms.
I say that all the time. And I couldn't agree more.
Tell them, shut your mouth. No, no. What?
What else you got planned this week then?
Just I'm back in the poker game.
No, you're not.
UKIPT London this week. We are back. Let's all do like a little prayer circle.
Prayer circle.
That I'll do it again.
Yeah, man. This time you're going to win big time, though, aren't you? You're going to win number one.
Number one trophy and the money.
Do you get a trophy for it?
Yeah, big boy trophy.
Are you the sort of person that's going straight on the mantelpiece, or are you going full Ronnie O'Sullivan and you're just giving it to someone in the crowd before you even leave the venue?
Nah, I love
which I do respect.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I'd really love to win a trophy. Like, if I won a trophy, you wouldn't hear that. I'll show you a picture of it. We'll get a picture of Spragademus and Pliers.
Yeah, we'll get that stuck in here. Look at that.
There's his trophy.
Wow, what a trophy
that's a good trophy, that, isn't it?
It is a good trophy. It's what is it? It looks a bit like a blade. Is it some sort of blade?
It's like a.
That's nice. That's really nice. Well, good luck. Obviously, United need a bit of luck as well against Bayern Munich. I know that this isn't the preview, but I would love your score prediction for that Bayern Munich game. How do you think it's going to go? And give me a sort of full-time prediction.
Late in May in 1999, all it's gonna go to injury time. What a feeling for the night.
Oh, what a night.
Who put the ball in the Germans' net? Anthony Martial. 2-1 Man United.
God. Late September 2023. Ten Hag got his job saved by Anthony. Okay, that works. Right, 2-1 Manchester United. We still got knocked out by Galatasaray. Oh, what a night.
No. Listen. Guys, we're going to finish 8th and win the Champions League. Decided.
I want to be. What I want. What's the record at the minute for the lowest finish and still win the Champions League? Lowest league finish. Is it 6th or 7th?
It was Wigan, wasn't it? They got relegated and won the Champions League. Was that?
Yeah, something like that. They beat City in the final, didn't they? That was it. I think it's 6th or 7th. I want us to finish.
Imagine if that happened.
I want us to finish 17th and win the Champions League. I would love that. I would love just how Twitter would explode. You're not even top 10. Like, imagine finish 15th or 1 point off being relegated and winning the Champions League. Actually, fuck it. Get relegated and win the Champions League.
And
the first team
win
to ever
league,
play in the Champions League from the Championship.
We could go, we're champions of Europe, you twats.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're the best team in Europe and we're in the Championship next season. Give me that. Right, that's going to be all from us. Thank you very much.
They can't do that, can they? They wouldn't do that, would they?
What?
They wouldn't still relegate us if we won the Champions League.
No, you got to stay up. You got to keep us up. Whoever wins the playoffs, you're just not coming up anymore. You can stay down there. Sorry about that. Yeah, we've got to be in the top league. Yeah, absolutely. Right, that is going to be all from us. Thank you once again to Manscaped for sponsoring the show. Make sure you check out the link in the description there. Adam McKola, great to see you off the back of your big win. If you could just give some of that luck to United for tomorrow night, that would be absolutely perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been Uncensored. We'll see you in a bit.